Welcome, brothers and sisters, to the first episode in this series entitled A Dose of Faith. And before diving into our topic, I want to take a minute or two to discuss the objectives of this show. Basically, we're going to talk about subjects which are relevant to our lives as Muslims today. We're going to be talking about misconceptions that we have that we need to work on fixing. We're going to be speaking about things that we do unconsciously sometimes, which in reality are grave sins. And we're going to make commitments for change. And what's the point of all this? To get connected with our religion, and in turn, to get in touch with God. So hold on to your chairs, brothers and sisters, and let the journey begin. Now, the subject of today's episode is probably one of the most important subjects that we're ever going to discuss. And this subject is prayer. It's a serious matter, brothers and sisters. And I want to introduce it with a short story, because I love stories, and I'm sure you do too. Now, a while back, I was sitting down with a Lebanese friend of mine, and we Arabs generally like to talk about one of two subjects: politics or religion. So, we're talking, and my friend says to me, "You know what, bro?" I said, "What's up?" He said, "I don't think I need to pray to be a good Muslim." I said, "What? What do you mean?" He said, "Well, I can help an old lady cross the road without praying, and I can give charity without praying. I'm still a good person." And I have this odd feeling, brothers and sisters, that there are a lot of people out there who share this view. I have this strange idea that many people feel they are doing God a favor by praying. Now, I'm not going to talk about how prayer is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, or how the Prophet's last words before he died were, "Prayer, prayer." Why? Because we all know this. But what we are going to do is to try and get this idea that we're doing the Almighty a favor out of our minds. In fact, we're going to come and understand today that God is doing us a favor by asking us to pray 5 times a day. Say what? Yup. Prayer is a gift from God to humanity. How is that? How is it a gift from God? Are you trying to tell me that God is doing me a favor by asking me to pray? Yes, I am. Now I want you to focus with me, brothers and sisters. You see, nothing in this world comes free. Everything's got a price. If you want to build body, if you want to be fit, what do you got to do? You got to sweat, man. You got to hit the gym. You have to pump those muscles. You got to eat right. You're not going to get that amazing cut by sitting on the couch eating Doritos and McCain cake while watching Oprah. It's not going to happen, man. You got to sacrifice. What if I'm in school and I want an A in my biochemistry exam? What do I have to do? You got to study, sister. You got to pull some all-nighters. Man, do I remember those all-nighters in engineering. I did a lot of those. You got to do your homework by yourself. You got to go to tutorials. You have to visit the prof during office hours and get clarifications on things you don't understand. It's not easy, man. You got to work for it. What if you want to buy a nice car? The other month I was visiting Toronto, and I happened to visit the auto show. And brothers and sisters, there are some wicked cars down there. Nice Beamers and Ferraris, cars of all shapes and sizes. So what do you got to do to get your hands on a Benz? Obviously, man, you got to work. You have to stay overtime. You have to input time and effort. You're not going to wake up one morning with the car in your driveway. No, you got to work for it. Similarly, people, shouldn't there be a price to pay for the blessings that God has given us? You may say to me, "What blessings are you talking about? I have a fever right now, and I'm sitting in my bed doing nothing. You call that a blessing?" Brothers and sisters, I want you to close your eyes and imagine with me. How much would you sell your eyesight for? I want you to think now. How much will it take for you to sacrifice seeing the sun every morning? how much will it take for you to give up seeing your spouse or your children? What do I have to give you to sacrifice doing your normal everyday activities that you cannot do without your eyes? Nothing! There's nothing in the world that you'd give your eyes up for. What about one of your arms? What about your ability to walk? What about your sense of touch? Nothing, man! There's no price tag on these things. I wouldn't give them up for anything in the world. And these are just a couple of examples of the blessings that God has given us. God says in the Qur'an, and if you try to count the favors of God, you will not be able to number them. There's an infinite amount of blessings that we have that we don't even realize we got. And in return for all this, all that God has asked from us is 15 minutes from our day. We should be praying day and night for all these invaluable blessings. We should be on our knees all day long to show just a bit of gratitude. But all He's asked for, brothers and sisters, all He's asked for is 15 minutes. And so in reality, He's doing us a favor by asking us to pray, not the other way around. And let's be honest, brothers and sisters, do you really think He needs our prayer? Seriously, does He? Obviously not. But He wants us to pray so that we can get in touch with Him. He wants you to know Him. He wants to establish a relationship with you. He wants you to love Him just like He loves you. And yet, when you refuse to pray, we're just closing the door in His face. Can you imagine, brothers and sisters? Closing the door on your Creator's face? Ouch! Man, does that hurt. Seriously, that's painful. Alright, people. Let us make a commitment to each other today. Right here, right now. From this point onwards, we will try our best never to miss a prayer again. From now on, we will never close the door in God's face. Never again. What if I slip? What if I mess up? It's okay, man. We're only human. We're bound to slip. As long as your intention is to pray the 5 prayers on time and you sincerely try hard to do so, then God will forgive you for your shortcomings. Why? Because He's a gracious and merciful God. Praise the Lord, brothers and sisters. This is the end of our first episode, people. And until our next dose of faith, please send my warmest regards to the King of Kings the next time you communicate with Him through your prayer. Peace out.
Yo, who said Islam was a bomb and 8 wives? Set the storm and hate lives that absolve a norm. Son of the Quraysh tribe was formed as a prophet to God. Now state dies Islamic, his mind will purge silence. Verses for earth's vomit and vermin. His rhyming uncommon, his sermons honest and firm. Calm along and he was promised to serve the birth of Honorable Muhammad. 570 AD saw burst mind heaven.